Welcome to part 1 of the New Order, The Last Days of Europe mod for Hoi 4 lore.
Hey yo, where is the Kaiser Aglo Part 3 Logan?
So, in the 1920s, the power struggle for control of the Soviet Union ends up with Nikolai Bukharin coming out on top, narrowly defeating Joseph Stalin, who will still send you to the Gulag though if you don't like and subscribe. Bukharin begins to institute free market reforms, however these end up destroying the already weak Soviet economy, causing the nation to be unable to build up a large amount of cannon fodder, military, like in our timeline. Across the pond in America, by the outset of World War II, Joseph Kennedy had become president. This made America much more neutral compared to our timeline.
I hate these filthy neutrals, Kif. With enemies, you know where they stand, but with neutrals, who knows? It sickens me.
So they are slower to mobilize for war, and are reluctant to send Lend-Lease to Britain. When war finally broke out in Europe, Germany Reich-stomped France and Poland, and didn't even bother making a pact to split Poland with a weak Soviet Union. The Allies also get creamed in Africa by an actually competent Italy. Much of the Royal Navy also gets trapped and destroyed in the Mediterranean as German, I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong, Fallschirmjägers and Italian Marines take Gibraltar. When Germany finally turned their attention to the Soviet Union and invaded, it only took a year before the Soviets were pushed back behind the Urals, as they didn't have Stalin there to send waves of peasants at the German lines like in our timeline. While Bukharin wanted to continue the fight to the last man, he was arrested and what little that remained of Russia dissolved in civil war. Having occupied it all they wanted, the Germans stopped their advance and let the Russians destroy themselves. At the same time, Japan struck Pearl Harbor, bringing America into the war. However, America was ill-prepared and suffered defeat all across the Pacific. They diverted what little military resources they had left to protecting Australia and the US West Coast. American help for Britain was too little too late as a German-sponsored IRA rebellion captured several ports, allowing German troops to flood the island. From there, the Germans landed in England, quickly defeating the British by 1943. In the chaos, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales all declared independence. America's last hope was in the Manhattan Project, but the Germans beat them to it and detonated the first atomic bomb over Pearl Harbor on July 4th, 1944, which shattered whatever hope the American populace had left. So on July 9th, peace accords were signed, and America was forced to give up the Pacific to Japan, along with several treaty ports along the Californian coast. With the war won, Germany set out to build its many mega projects, such as damming Gibraltar and partially draining the Mediterranean. Unfortunately for the Germans, having a coked-up, mentally unstable dictator run your economy isn't the best idea, so in 1950 the German economy crashed, taking down the rest of Europe with it. Mussolini wasn't very happy with all this and left the Axis. Also to stick it to the Germans, he welcomed all the undesirables of the Reich and declared the First Italian Empire, even though it would be like the second because of Rome, but you know, whatever. He also made an alliance with Spain and Turkey, as they both were pretty salty about Germany draining the Mediterranean without their consent. What happens next? We gotta wait for part 2. Head over to r/TNO mod for more information about this upcoming mod for Hearts of Iron 4. Thanks to Patreon, Skylar Weston and Emerson Salmerio Rubio. Also check out my Twitter @LoganProds and link to the Discord in the description.